I'm Scott Goldman, and this is the Grammy Museum's Programs at Home. You know, I'm not sure there are enough superlatives in any language to describe the success of our guests today. They're the most successful K-pop act in U.S. chart history, with a devoted global following eager to hear every new single and album. They're the first K-pop group to perform on the Grammy stage, and recently set a record when over 750,000 people tuned into their online concert. Their most recent album, Map of the Soul 7, debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, and they're here today following the release of their new single entitled Dynamite. BTS, we're so glad you're with us today.
Here we are, BTS!
Yeah.
Hi, Sky, Grammy Museum. Long time no see.
Nice, nice. So I want to start by asking RM. You know, every interview that I do or have done, even in the last 4 or 5 months, I end up starting off by asking and talking about quarantine. So how are you doing with quarantine?
Like in February and March, we also got like quite angry and sad and desperate. But you know, as time goes by, we decided to focus on what we can do. So it was just, you know, it's always been the music and the performance. So we actually have been focusing on working on a new album and this single and the choreography as well. And like personally, we've been developing our own personal hobbies, like playing guitars, like painting, drawing, learning instruments, watering the plants, etc.
I like the watering the plants part. I've been doing that myself around here too.
That's the best hobby.
Yeah. Well, you know, it gets me out of the house anyway. Suga, let me ask you. I know you recently released one of your own solo projects, and I'm wondering, during this time in particular, has it been a chance to kind of really focus on writing and your own creative process?
아무래도 좀 시간적으로 여유가 있다 보니까 좀 타이트하게 작업을 해가지고 발표를 할 수 있었던 것 같고요. 10개 트랙 아주 꽉꽉 채워서 해봤죠. 시간이 좀 있었어서인 것 같아요.
This question is for Jimin. Let's talk about the new single, Dynamite. This is the first time you've done a song completely in English. And I know there was a time when the thinking was that might not be a BTS thing to do. Why was this now the right time to do a song in English?
네, 우선은 하반기 앨범을 준비하는 중에 팬분들이 뭔가 활력을 느낄 만하고 또 의미 있는 가사의 곡을 만나게 됐어요. 그래서 그 곡을 듣게 됐는데 데모의 느낌 자체가 너무 좋았고 영어가 가장 잘 어울린다고 생각이 들었기 때문에 다 같이 매력을 한번 살려서 도전을 한번 해보자 해서 지금의 다이너마이트를 내게 됐는데 뿐만 아니라 지금 이런 모두가 다 같이 힘든 이런 시기에 전 세계적으로 지금같이 힘든 시기에 가장 뭔가 위로가 될 수 있는 곡이라고 생각했기에 다 같이 도전을 해본 것 같습니다.
Well, and with that in mind, J-Hope, each of your albums and singles there's a theme or a through line. To you, what's the theme of Dynamite?
아까 지민이가 이야기했다시피 지금 전 세계적으로 힘든 상황인데 그런 힘든 상황 속에서도 자신이 할 수 있는 것에 집중하자라는 그런 취지가 담긴 그런 곡인 것 같아요. 그래서 저희도 이 시기를 겪으면서 저희가 가장 잘하는 것이 무엇이 있을까 딱 생각을 했을 때는 결국 음악과 춤이더라고요. 그래서 이제 다이너마이트에서 저희가 뭔가 자신감 있게 노래하고 춤추고 이런 즐거움을 뭔가 여러분들에게도 전달하고 싶었고, 그리고 저희 또한 그 음악과 또 춤을 그리고 이 곡을 녹음을 하면서 에너지를 받았기 때문에 그거를 또 많이 공감을 또 주고 싶었고 되게 그런 메시지를 좀 전달을 하고 싶었던 것 같아요.
You know, RM, I'm going to come back to you. You know, given the challenges that people face today with the pandemic, and certainly in a cultural sense in the United States, we're going through a lot of issues with respect to social justice, and there's a lot of cultural upheaval. Do you feel it's more important right now for the group to be putting out new music?
Due to this unfortunate times, we had to change many plans as well. And as artists who connect with our listeners on stage, we felt disparate as well. So in the middle of all that, we came across Dynamite. We thought it could be something new to break out of this state. And we saw and we felt many armies all over the world felt the same, feeling the same emotions as well. So I think we thought that it could be a song that can lift everybody's mood up right away. And we also got so much energy from it, and we are still hoping that this song could give as much as energy.
V, let me ask you, you know, in terms of this particular song, you know, I had an artist once tell me that every song or album that he made was somehow a reaction to the last song or album that he recorded. And is Dynamite in any way a reaction to the music that you had recorded for Map of the Soul 7?
Not really. I'd rather say that the song is a reaction to the current pandemic situation. We wanted to give people energy through singing and dancing, which is what we do best.
Let me follow up on that and say, what kind of feedback are you getting from your fans? As I mentioned in the open, you have this incredible army all over the world of fans. What kind of feedback are you getting about the song?
You know, physically and visually, we got so many positive feedback, like views or the charts. But let's just get out of all of that. For me, I've actually, there are a lot of armies around me, like friends, sisters, brothers, and they told me that, yo, this is the correct song that I just need right now. In this hot summer, in Korea is like really hot. We've heard that New York is hot too. And in this hot weather, everybody's like desperate because of this pandemic or weather or whatever. This is the song that I actually needed, and I'm listening to it like while driving or while watering the plants or like waking up, like watching their faces. So yeah, that's the feedback and that we expected. So yep. So I think it's going quite well.
Suga, let me ask you. I want to talk about the sound of the song, the sound of Dynamite. Sonically, how does it differ from previous releases?
특히 이번에는 이제 디스코풍의 음악이다 보니까 여태 저희가 해보지 않았던 스타일의 곡이었어가지고 녹음할 때도 마찬가지고 또 믹스할 때도 마찬가지고 되게 여러 가지 시도들을 많이 해봤던 것 같아요. 특히나 뭐 디스코 같은 경우는 저희가 이제 듣고 자란 세대가 아니다 보니까 굉장히 좀 고심 끝에 이제 녹음도 굉장히 여러 번 많이 했었었고, 그래서 사운드적으로도 그때의 느낌을 좀 많이 살리려고 좀 많이 노력을 했던 것 같아요.
Let me follow up on that. Is the idea, because disco is not something that you would necessarily default to? Do you like to experiment with sound and styles?
특히 이제 뭐 저희가 믹스를 했을 때 이제 여러 엔지니어한테 동시에 받는 경우들도 있고, 그리고 뭐 저희가 항상 작업을 할 때 그리고 계속해서 수정을 해요. 그러니까 이제 마음에 안 들거나 좀 아쉬운 부분들은 계속해서 수정을 하는 편이고, 특히 이번 같은 경우는 꽤나 좀 많이 사운드적으로 좀 고심을 했었죠. 다행히도 많이들 좋아해 주신 것 같아가지고 다행이라고 생각합니다.
J-Hope, let me ask you, I read that the choreography to Dynamite is simpler. Now, this is not something that I would organically know. I am not much of a dancer, but what does that allow you to do that more complex choreography might not?
뭐 일단 가장 중요한 거는 많은 분들이 쉽게 따라할 수 있는 게 쉬운 안무의 가장 좀 매력 포인트가 아닐까라는 생각이 들고요. 사실 이번 또 안무는 멤버별로 또 멋과 또 개성을 또 살린 안무가 있기 때문에 아무래도 이제 본인의 특색을 더 살릴 수 있는 부분이 또 있지 않을까 싶고요. 그리고 또 지금 되게 여러 이제 플랫폼을 통해서 팬 여러분들이 또 따라해 주시는 영상들을 또 보고 있는데 굉장히 쉽게 또 따라해 주시더라고요. 그런 게 가장 좀 큰 포인트인 것 같아요. 이 쉬운 안무의 가장 매력 포인트가 아닐까. 네, 다 같이 즐길 수 있는 게요.
Yeah, Jimin, I'm asking about the choreography because the earlier single from Map of the Soul, the song called On, that video had something like 30 dancers and a marching band. Are you guys always looking for ways to top yourselves?
너무나 있는 것 같아요. 사실 뭔가 사실 지금 와서는 어떤 안무가 우리 스타일이다라고 설명하기는 어려운 부분이 있지만 그래도 저희가 예전부터 고집해오던 부분들이 있던 것 같아요. 조금 뭔가 그 무대를 봤을 때 좀 세고 강력하고 그리고 뭔가 폭발적인 에너지를 느낄 수 있는 그런 부분들이 있는 것 같은데 계속해서 그거를 고집하면서 또 세련되게 그리고 때론 좀 유하게 하면서 여러 가지 도전을 계속해서 하면서 관객분들이 그리고 저희 팬 아미 분들이 만족하실 수 있게 앞으로도 계속해서 시도해 나갈 생각입니다.
I'm going to change the subject for a minute. BTS has charted four #1 albums faster than any group since the Beatles. What does that kind of success, particularly in the United States, mean to you?
일단 저희는 첫 번째로 음악을 너무 좋아하고 사랑하는 그런 마음으로 이제 시작이 됐어요. 그리고 이제 그런 곡들을 우리가 진심으로 만든 그런 앨범들을 팬분들이 좋아해 주시고 응원해 주시고 사랑을 보내주시니까 그냥 너무 감사하고 그리고 그런 팬분들에게 감사하다고 항상 말하고 싶고 그리고 그게 얼마나 중요한지도 깨닫게 된 것 같아요. 그리고 저희가 뭐 연습생부터 지금까지 뭔가 평소에 생각도 못했던 일들을 지금 계속 겪고 있어가지고 그냥 팬분들한테 진짜 너무 감사한 마음밖에 없고 그리고 어쨌든 음악이랑 뭐 우리가 보여주는 퍼포먼스 이런 것들은 항상 더 발전이 돼야 된다고 생각하기 때문에 앞으로도 이제 많은 팬 여러분들을 위해서 또 좋은 음악, 좋은 퍼포먼스로 보답해야 된다고 생각이 듭니다.
Well, Jin, let me ask you, thinking about the arc of the career that the group has had, collaboration is the key to any successful musical endeavor, the ability to collaborate with other musicians, other dancers, whatever it might be. What makes the group, what makes the seven of you such good collaborators?
일단은 저희는 뭐 서로가 굉장히 뭐 친한 사이라 서로 이야기를 굉장히 많이 하고 BTS가 서로 잘 이해한다는 것도 알고 있고 또 저희는 비즈니스적인 관계라는 것도 어쨌든 있지는 않고 있어요. 그래서 최대한 좋은 결과물들이 나올 수 있게 서로가 얘기를 해주고 그런 부분에서 냉정하게 얘기를 해주니까 뭐 이런 것들이 다 좋은 팀워크, 좋은 결과물로 나오지 않나라고 생각하고 있습니다.
Yeah, RM, let me follow up on that with you. I'm sure there are days when you guys get together and you have to record or you're doing a video or whatever, and maybe, somebody isn't quite feeling it. How do you support each other?
each member is like really different. So it took us some time and effort to understand each other. And now I consider ourselves as like everybody, we're 7 is on the same boat, but looking at some different directions. It's, you know, it's okay to look at the different direction. The important thing is that we know that we are on the same boat. So I think now everyone is understanding that we are on the same boat. So even we sometimes look at a different direction, we still have to go to one way. So I think now we can read each other's mind like an open book, and we got 7 different tastes, 7 different colors, personalities. But I think like there's a Korean food called bibimbap, and it has some like several different materials. But when you mix it, it's become a great like food, like hamburger. So I think we're a great hamburger and bibimbap as well.
I like that analogy. Well said. Cook, let me ask you. You guys took part in a very special YouTube program celebrating the class of 2020. It was a class of 2020 graduation ceremony. And in your remarks, you talked about how you went through high school as a member of BTS. You said you've come a long way. What have you learned about yourself in the past 7 years?
15살이면 좀 많이 어린 나이죠. 어린 나이인데 그때는 이제 제 정체성도 잘 몰랐고 뭐 이제 어린 나이에 사회생활을 또 시작하게 됐고 되게 많은 것들이 정신없었고 어려웠어요. 근데 이제 그때까지만 해도 멤버가 이제 허석이 형이랑 남준이 형이랑 슈가 형, 진영 이렇게 있었는데 이제 그때부터 지금까지 비형이랑 지민이 형 들어오고 같이 생활하면서 뭐 음악적인 부분은 너무나도 자연스럽게 같이 음악을 하다 보니까 되게 음악에 대한 애정이나 관심, 사랑이 자연스럽게 커졌고 엄청 즐거워졌죠. 근데 이제 사람으로서는 좀 저번에도 얘기한 적이 있는데 이제 너무나도 좋은 사람들이랑 같이 있다 보니까 좀 저의 어떤 자아가 이 멤버들에 의해서 좀 많이 자리 잡고 잘 만들어진 것 같아요. 그래서 일단 멤버들한테 너무 고맙다는 생각이 들고 이제 배웠다기보다 멤버들한테 뭔가 배웠다기보다 자연스럽게 뭔가 제 몸 안에 멤버들의 성향이랑 그리고 이제 목표의식이나 이런 것들이 자연스럽게 좀 자리 잡아 녹아든 것 같아요. 그래서 지금도 이제 뭐 예전에 많이 싸웠다가 안 싸우는 것도 그렇고 이제 좀 괜찮은 사람이 되지 않았나 그런 생각을 한번 해봅니다.
So let me just follow up on that. What did you guys fight about? What were the fights about?
먹는 걸로 많이 싸웠죠.
식사 메뉴 청소 누가 했냐 안 했냐,
설거지 누가 밥 먹고 누가 안 치웠냐.
그 바나나 내 건데 왜 네가 먹냐.
네, 그런 거죠.
왜 내 옷 가서 뺏어 입냐, 뭐 이런 거.
사소한 걸로 싸웠지.
You know, this is fantastic. I love the fact that I'm talking to the biggest pop group in the world, and you guys are arguing about who did the dishes. So we're running down on time here. I only have a couple of more questions. Let me ask Suga. This is the 7th anniversary of the group, and you guys have always addressed issues that are personal, hardships, societal pressures, mental health, and you know, this has not been the norm necessarily for K-pop artists, though I think many are now taking your lead. Why is it important to you and the group to continue to be so vulnerable in the music that you make?
뭐 이게 뭐 약한 모습을 보여주는 게 중요하다라는 생각을 해본 적은 없는데 그냥 그런 생각은 했었어요. 음악을 항상 만들 때. 왜 이런 문제에 대해서 아무도 이야기를 하고 있지 않지?에서부터 좀 출발한 것 같은데. 참 그래요. 저 어릴 때는 좀 희망적인 메시지 음악들을 좀 많이 듣고 자라서 그런지 모르겠는데, 저한테는 자라오면서 들었던 음악, 그리고 이제 만들었던 음악들이 굳이 폭력적이라든지 메시지가 막 없는 그런 것들을 원치 않았어요, 저 같은 경우는. 그래서 좀 여러 가지 음악들을 시도하고, 그 와중에 이제 뭐 곡을 쓰고 곡을 만드는 사람이 자기 이야기를 하자면 도대체 어떤 이야기를 해야 되지라는 생각도 했었고, 그리고 너무 안타까웠어요. 그런 이야기들을 하지 않는다는 게 왜 안 하고 있지? 그래서 그럼 누가 할 건데? 라는 생각이 좀 강했죠.
So, RM, speaking of messages, throughout music history, and particularly in the last 50 years or so, music artists are always the first to kind of step up when there are natural disasters or social upheaval, or as we're seeing now, a pandemic. And recently the group made a $1 million contribution to Black Lives Matter, and your fans, Army, matched it. Why was that important to the group?
We truly think that our Twitter message speaks for itself. We stand against all kinds of racial discrimination and condemn violence. And we all have the right to be respected. And also, we're very thankful that the fans are also with us together.
So, last question, and I think I'll direct this at RM. What's next? I hear there's a concert film coming, maybe a new album. What are you guys working on?
Yeah, we have a lot coming. Like you told us, we have a film coming out in September, a concert in October, and a new album coming out later this year, soon. So it's going to be a very, very busy, crazy, hectic year.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to all of that. Right now, we're all listening to the new single, Dynamite. BTS, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Scott and Grammy Museum. Thank you so much. Thanks for having us. It was a great honor.
Thank you.
See you in America later.
Come and see us.
Later. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cause I'm innocent tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light.
Take it.
Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Hey. King Kong, kick the drum, running on like a rolling stone. Hey. Sing song when I'm walking on, jump up to the top of the broad. Hey. They don't call me on my phone, I stay in, I get my ping pong.
Yeah. This day, heaven, can't hear the bass boom, I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey, yeah, this beach train like money. Yeah.
Disco overload, I'm into that, I'm good to go, I'm timer, you know I go.
Hey, so let's go. Hey.
Cause I'm in a star tonight.
Hey.
So watch me bring the fire, set the night light.
Hey.
And shine through the city with a little funky soul. Light it up like dynamite.
Whoa. Bring a friend, join the crowd, whoever wanna come along.
Hey.
Voila, time, just a move rocky up the world. Day or night, skies align, so we dance to break of dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, I got no medicine, so you should keep your eyes on the ball. Hey.
This is getting heavy. Can you hit the bass? Boom, I'm ready. Love it, sweat it, honey. Yeah, this picture chain like money. And disco overload, I'm into that. I'm good to go, I'm diamond. You know I go.
Hey, so let's go. Hey.
Cause I'm in a star tonight.
Hey.
So watch me bring the fire, set the night light.
Hey.
Shining through the city with a little focus on. Light it up like dynamite. Whoa,
everybody.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, like the dynamite. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, like the dynamite. Shining through the city with a little focus on. Light it up like dynamite. Whoa,
Here we go.
Da-na-na-na. shining through the city.